Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Deffinition, and this is the channel where they all float. Pennywise the Dancing Clown from Stephen King's story It is arguably one of the most fascinating villains in horror history. Whether it's its creepy smile, shape-shifting ability, or the sinister side that makes it one of the most evil monsters ever put to film, you have to agree that it has a certain allure about it. To celebrate the release of It Chapter 2 this year, I thought I'd break down everything that you need to know about Pennywise, including its role in the book and its history. This is full spoilers ahead, so if you don't want anything potentially ruined for yourself about the film, then I highly suggest that you turn off now. With that out the way, I just want to give you a huge thank you for clicking this video. I hope you enjoy it. Now sit back, relax, and let's get into my breakdown of all things Pennywise. Okay, so the first question that I want to clear up that I've seen asked on my videos is, did Pennywise used to be a real person? This is because in It Chapter 2 we see Beverly looking at an old photograph that appears to show Pennywise as a person in Old Derry. Well, to get rid of any confusion, this isn't Pennywise, or what we at least know it to be. Whilst this man did exist, Pennywise used its shape-shifting abilities to take this man's form in order to lure in the children of Derry. This old photograph in the trailer still has some significance, as it showcases how long Pennywise has been in Derry for. Stephen King based its appearance on Ronald McDonald, Bozo the Clown, Clara Bell, and John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer that sometimes donned a costume. It uses this appearance because it can quickly lure children into a false sense of security, which is why we see it appear as a clown so often. The creature It is actually billions of years old and is known as a glamour. It originates from another dimension outside of the universe, known as the Macroverse. Its real name and species are called Deadlights, but as the Losers Club are unaware of this, they simply refer to the creature as It. It refers to itself as the Eater of Worlds, which probably means that it has drifted through the galaxy, going planet to planet, carrying out the parasitic attacks until it's drained the location of all its resources. Whilst most assume that Pennywise is male, it's actually a female, and in the story we discover that the creature is pregnant, though it's killed before it can give birth. It landed in what would come to be known as Derry thousands of years ago during an asteroid crash, and it lived in the area, allowing humans to build a town around it so that it had a regular food source. It is as much of Derry as Derry is it, and thus the creature cannot leave the town. It has a hibernation pattern of 30 years, and its awakening is normally marked by a huge tragedy such as the Kitchener Ironworks explosion, which killed 88 children during an Easter egg hunt. It has the ability to shapeshift, and it uses this power to scare the humans which live in the area. According to it, frightened flesh tastes better, which is why it spends the majority of its time attempting to scare people. Pennywise primarily hunts children as these are easier to frighten, and because the fears of adults such as bills and money worries are difficult to manifest as. Whilst the creature seems complex, its only goals are to sleep and eat, and when awakened it tends to operate for roughly a year before returning to its slumber. It eventually becomes arrogant and begins to taunt and torture its prey for months before eating them, which ultimately leads to its downfall. It views humans as below it and thus allows them to escape sometimes, as it doesn't really see any difficulty in taking them further down the line. Due to its psychic abilities, it's able to carry on this pattern of behaviour, as it can influence the police into not investigating the disappearances too deeply, and thus it flies under the radar. It can control minds as well, which is why the adults seem quite nonchalant to the missing children, and why Beverly's father cannot see the blood in the bathroom. Along with the name Pennywise, the creature also uses the alias Robert Gray, which is a nod to real-life child cannibal Albert Fish. Whilst it can be horrifying at times, Pennywise also sometimes uses its appearance to charm children. It does this to Georgie and Henry Bowers, both of whom it manipulates. In the latest look at the film, we see that it has changed its appearance slightly, which showcases that it is trying to lure children in rather than scare them, as it probably still has regrets over the Losers Club. Now, the main difference between the story and the film is that in the adaptation, it is barely able to pass as a human, whereas in the book, it can completely blend into society. Its famous phrase, "You'll float too," also differs in the movie, as in its lair we see the children's bodies that it has taken floating in the air, whereas in the source material the phrase "you'll float" refers to the children's corpses floating in the water of the sewers. Whilst we never see its true form, the creature manifests as a giant spider at the end of the story and shows its deadlights. These lights come from an interdimensional realm and send all those who look at them insane. It really doesn't have a true form though, and its appearance is normally decided by the onlooker. In the source material, it appears as a werewolf to one child, whilst at the same time appearing as a clown, so it's difficult to decipher its actual appearance. As it has no true form, it cannot be killed by conventional means, and thus the only way to defeat it is through the ritual of Chud. As the creature feeds on fear, only courage and love can overcome it, and when the Losers Club reunite, their strong connection with one another allows them to form a psychic connection that destroys it. This rids the town of the creature, and the group are able to go their separate ways after finally fulfilling their oath. Now there are more things that tie into the lore of the creature, such as the giant turtle, but that's for another video, as I just wanted to focus on Pennywise for this one. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Pennywise and what you think the scariest thing about the character is. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please like it and make sure you check out my full breakdown of the recently released It Chapter 2 trailer, which will be linked at the end. This is the channel for people who are mad into movies, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Deffinition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.